All right, welcome in everybody to the deep dive. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, but something I think a lot of you will like. We're taking a deep dive into the music, like really into the lyrics and the themes of BNI.
That's right, BNI. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of their stuff recently, getting prepped.
Yeah, it's really cool. We've got a whole stack of transcripts here, pulled them right from their official YouTube channel. And it's everything from like full-on music videos, like I Feel Good, to, you know, those performance clips they do of songs like Pantropico.
Yeah, definitely a nice spread.
Yeah.
To really kind of dig into.
Yeah, and what we really want to do today is give you almost like a cheat sheet, you know, like the Spark Notes version of what makes their music so special. So we'll be looking out for recurring ideas, how they play with language, you know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Oh.
By the end of this, you should be able to walk up to any BNI fan and drop some knowledge about their lyrics, their themes, the whole package.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's jump right into it. And I think a good place to start, you know, something we can all relate to is love and relationships. That's a huge theme for BNI. Like when you read through these transcripts, it's kind of amazing how many different ways they talk about love.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like right off the bat, you've got a song like I Feel Good, which just hits you with this like wave of pure happiness, right? Those lyrics, when they talk about feels like a rainbow in the sky, paradise, like you can't get much more straightforward and joyful than that.
It's like you're right there with them feeling that pure bliss, you know?
Right. And it makes you think, like, have you ever felt that way about someone where everything just feels like so perfect and bright?
Totally. And then you've got Pantropico, which has a similar vibe, but it's a lot more, I don't know, dreamlike. Like there's this romantic imagery, prints in the sand, guided by the grip of your hand. And again, that feeling of it feels so good keeps coming back.
It's like they've taken that happy feeling and wrapped it up in this like beautiful, almost fairy tale setting, you know?
Yeah, like I Feel Good is that first spark. And then Pantropico is like, you're a few dates in, you know? It's still new and exciting, but there's a bit more depth to it.
Yeah. And then you bring in a song like Pitta Pat, and now we're talking about those very first moments of attraction. Like, you know that feeling when you think someone might be into you, but you're not sure, and you're kind of trying to play it cool, but inside your heart is just going crazy.
Yeah, like, is he watching me from across the room? That's totally that nervous but excited energy. Right?
Totally. And hasn't everyone been there at some point, right? Like, you catch someone's eye, and you're just dying to know if they're feeling it too. It's a universal thing.
Yeah, big time. All right, so then we come to Huwag Muna Tayong Umuwi. And full disclosure, my Tagalog is a little rusty, but this one translates to let's not go home yet.
Yeah, this one's a really interesting one. It captures that feeling of wanting to hold on to a moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything's perfect, you're with someone special, and you just don't want it to end.
Yeah, and there's that line, "Maloi tahimik sa inyong tabi," which I think means something like, the world is quiet by your side.
Yeah, and I think that just emphasizes that sense of peacefulness and intimacy, you know?
But then there's this little twist.
Right. Because then they throw in the line, "Kinakabahan te gusto mo nang umalis."
Which means...
Like, are you nervous? Perhaps you want to leave already? And I think it's so interesting that they add that in.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of reality creeping into this perfect moment, right?
Exactly. And it makes it so relatable because, let's be honest, even when we're having an amazing time, there's always that little voice in the back of our heads that's like, what if this ends? Or, you know, what if things change?
Totally. Okay, so let's flip the script a bit. We've got Blink Twice, which is way more playful, right? Like when they ask if you like me, blink twice, and are you naughty or nice? It's almost like they're flirting with the listener, you know?
It's definitely got a more like teasing energy to it, right? Like that back and forth, that kind of playful uncertainty. Have you ever had that kind of like flirtatious banter with someone?
Oh, yeah. And it's fun.
It's the best.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then we go to Cherry on Top, and this is where things get really confident.
Oh, for sure. This is like BNI saying, we are the main event.
Yeah, like my presence is a present, baby I'm the cake, and of course cherry on top. It's so bold and self-assured.
Like they're not even questioning if you like them, they're just stating it as a fact. They are the cherry on top.
Right, and that's such a cool contrast to the vulnerability we saw in Huwag Muna Tayong Umuwi, you know? It's like two totally different sides of the same coin.
Yeah, and it shows how BNI can really switch it up. You know, they can be soft and vulnerable 1 minute and then totally in-your-face confident the next.
Okay, but speaking of vulnerability, Salamin. Salamine takes us right back there. And by the way, this one means mirror, mirror, which is kind of a giveaway for what it's about.
It's all about that uncertainty in a relationship, like wondering where you stand if the other person feels the same way.
Yeah, and there's this like desperation to their questions to the mirror, when will he admit his true feelings? Why is my heart left hanging? Like, they're really grappling with those doubts and anxieties that we all have in relationships.
It's like they're trying to find answers outside of themselves because it's just too painful to confront those feelings head on. And those lines, still can't read your true motives. What you show is different from what you say. Like, that's classic relationship angst right there.
It's just so raw. It's so real.
Yeah. And it makes you think about times in your own life when you felt that way,
Yeah.
right? Where you're just like desperate for clarity, but the other person is sending mixed signals.
Oh, totally. And then you've got na na na, which this one is tricky because it's about this feeling of falling in love over and over again, even when you know it might not be good for you.
It's that push and pull between your head and your heart, right? Like the line, nahulog ang loob sayo, means my heart is falling for you. And they keep repeating it, but there's also this awareness that they're kind of repeating a pattern, like, di na natututo pagkatigas na ulo, which I think means not learning because of stubbornness.
Yeah, it's like they know they should probably walk away, but they just can't help themselves.
It's that classic, like, I know this is going to hurt, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Exactly. And it's so relatable because I think we've all been there. Okay, so we've gone through a whole roller coaster of love and relationships, and now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about another big theme in BNI's music, self-empowerment.
Yes. This is one of my favorite things about them. They're not afraid to be strong and confident.
Yeah, like Born to Win is pretty much an anthem for that, right? The failures only made me strong, more than fearless, nothing can hold us. Like it's just this declaration of power and resilience.
It's like they're saying, we've been through some stuff, but we're not letting it define us. We're going to keep going. We're going to win. And that's so inspiring.
Yeah. And then you've got Carrera, which is interesting because it's actually about not rushing. Carrera means race, but they're saying, don't worry, life is not a race. Starting anew is already a victory.
It's like they're pushing back against that whole hustle culture, Like, it's okay to slow down, take your time, and appreciate each step of the journey.
Yeah, that's a message I think we all need to hear sometimes. And then Strings. This one is really interesting because it starts from a place of vulnerability, like I'm broken and need to fix this fire, but then there's this determination to rise above it.
Right, like just hanging on, got to wake up, get higher. That's about that inner strength that we all have, even when we feel like we're falling apart.
Exactly. And that image of being on strings, it's like, yeah, you might be fragile, you might need help, but you're still reaching, you're still trying to climb higher.
And that's what matters. Okay, so we've talked about love, we've talked about self-empowerment. Now, I want to touch on a few other things that caught my eye in these transcripts.
Yeah, for sure. There are some unique tracks in here.
Definitely, like Coconut Nut, which is just, it's such a fun song.
Oh, I love that one. It's just a straight up ode to coconuts. Like it literally lists all the ways you can use them.
And it's so catchy. You'll be singing about coconut milk and coconut shells all day after you hear it. It's just a reminder that BNI isn't afraid to have a little fun, They can be serious and introspective, but they also know how to just let loose and have a good time.
Totally. And then we have Kapitling, which I don't speak Tagalog fluently, but I know that it means hold on, which is a pretty powerful message on its own. And the fact that they've mixed in other languages as well, it just shows how their music can connect with people from all different backgrounds.
Right. It's like they're creating this sense of unity through music, regardless of language barriers. And that's so important, especially in today's world.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, we have Lagi. And this one is really interesting because the transcript we have is just the word Lagi over and over again.
I know. And Lagi means always or often. So even though we don't have the full lyrics, it's clear that they're trying to emphasize this idea of repetition, of something that's constant or recurring.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mantra.
Yeah, and it really makes you think, like, what is that Lagi for them? What is that feeling or that experience that keeps coming back?
And what is it for you? Like, what's your Lagi? What's that thing that's always there in the background of your life? It's a really thought-provoking concept.
Okay, so as we wrap things up here, I think it's important to remember that we've only been looking at transcripts, right? We haven't actually seen these music videos. We haven't heard the music itself.
Right. So everything we've talked about, all the emotions, the themes, the wordplay, all of that gets amplified when you actually experience the music.
Yeah, like imagine those lyrics about feeling good, but now add in the beat, the melody, the visuals of the music video.
The energy of the performance, the choreography, the outfits, the whole thing.
Exactly. So while we've given you a good taste of what BNI's lyrics are all about, I think it's important to go and actually listen to the music, to experience it for yourself.
For sure. Because you'll get a whole other layer of meaning and emotion when you do.
All right, so let's do a quick recap. We've seen how BNI explores love in so many different ways, from those first butterflies to the complexities of long-term relationships, even that feeling of wanting to hold on to a moment.
And then there's that strong theme of self-empowerment, of overcoming challenges, not letting setbacks define you, and finding your own pace in life.
Yeah, and they do it all with this mix of vulnerability and strength, and they're not afraid to have a little fun along the way.
Exactly. They can be silly and playful, like in Daka Coconut Nut, but they can also be really deep and introspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes them so relatable. They show us all sides of themselves.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. We've talked about all these different themes and emotions that BNI explores, but which ones resonate most with you? Like, when you think about your own life, your own experiences, what parts of their music speak to you on a personal level?
Because at the end of the day, that's what great music does. It connects with us on a deep emotional level. And I think B&I does that really well.
Yeah, I think so too. So go check them out, listen to their music, and see what you discover.
And let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.